Week six recomp. This is the physique, y'all. Waist is holding at 28. Show you guys the legs. And this is post calisthenics. Waist is holding at 28. I think last week my waist was at a 28 as well. So waist isn't just going to be dropping week by week, especially at my leanest right now. But the goal is to get to a 27-inch waist. We're not chasing the scale. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit. But this is more like a recomp. I really feel comfortable in a good sense, not in a bad sense, because, being a little bit uncomfortable is fine. But I feel like my best look is somewhere between the mid 170s and mid 180s. And pushing too low is not going to be good for me. I really want a smaller waist, and I already have a small waist, but I really want a smaller waist, right? But if in the pursuit of going for a smaller waist, I lose, because my chest is already not that good. My shoulders are pretty good. So in the pursuit of a smaller waist, if I lose chest mass, which I really can't afford to lose, but if I lose some delts, then my proportions won't be as good. Does that make sense? Like, my proportions will be better if I kept all my chest, all my delts, all my upper back, all that upper body width with the waist being tauter, as opposed to the waist being tauter and the upper back width going down with it. So when I'm doing like a standard cut, and for me, anything past like a 500 calorie deficit is pretty steep, right? So if I'm doing anything like that, at my level of leanness, I've been looking at pictures, because I take pictures of my physique, and I tell you guys to take pictures of your physique as well. I've seen that sometimes when I get too low, once I get past the mid 170s, I just start looking a little too, how do I want to say this? A little too marathon runner-ish, because I'm not a big guy. So I was like, you know what? When I got to those mid 170s a few weeks ago and my recovery was shit, I think that was week 4 in this. And at what the time was a cut, but now we're calling it a recomp, right? When I was in the mid 170s, I liked my physique, and my waist was a 27 and a half. My sleep was shit because I was in too steep of a deficit and I wasn't able to recover that well. My cortisol was high. My T was low. And I'm not going to talk about that, but my T was for sure low, right? So I know this, which means that even though I look pretty good at the 170s, if I could get back to about 177, 178, but if I do it in a very slow pass, in a very slow method, then I'd be able to get there at a better body composition. So the goal is to recomp. Give myself a fluctuation zone. We're really watching for the waist. We want the waist. Right now I'm sitting at 28. It was a 27 and a half a few weeks ago. We want the waist to get back to a 27 and a half, but pushing towards a 27 within the next 13 weeks until June 21st. So we want a 27-inch waist. That's going to happen somewhere in the high 170s, low 180s if I do it right. I would say right now I'm sitting at about 10% body fat. So when I get to my 27-inch waist, I'll for sure be at a single-digit body fat. Let me show you guys a side profile. My legs are really starting to come in too. I really have some good definition up here. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have some pretty good definition up here. I'll show you guys the back. So every Sunday, I'm going to give you guys a check, and I'm going to sit down and talk to you guys a little bit. But this is the physique right now. All right, so I'm not going to hold you guys too long today, but I am just going to talk to you guys, right? So week 6, that was my physique post calisthenics. And I've really changed my mind about certain things. Number one, this was kind of already my philosophy, but the more I've done research about old school bodybuilding principles, I'm really into old school principles, and the more I see all the pitfalls that a lot of people fall into getting lean and shredded. I talked about this a little bit last week, but I'm really putting my 10 toes down with this. I really don't believe in like bulking and cutting. I really don't. A lot of people will say that about bulking, but then with cutting, they'll get into crazy deficits. Especially once you're already in a 10 to 15% body fat range, and for women, 20 to 25%, I don't believe in going extreme on either end. If you're not severely overweight or severely underweight, you should be in a recomp type of phase for the duration of your life. I truly feel that way. I'm already in a good range. The original plan was to cut down into the low 170s, maybe even mid 160s, because I really want like a super crispy face. But I was like, bro, I'm gonna risk muscle mass and like body frame for the face. So the best thing for me, especially at 6'2", is to get the best of both worlds, getting, you know, good facial features, but also making sure that I keep my frame. And what I like to do and what I get my clients to do is track your waist. Your waist is the best measure. It's better than the waist in the mirror. It's going to be better than the weight scale. It's going to be the best thing for you to really track. So like I mentioned when I showed you guys my physique, my waist was a 27.5 when I was in the mid 170s a few weeks ago. I'm back in the 180s right now. And most, like I said last week, most of that is just glycogen and water. I'm feeling good. My waist has bumped up 1/2 inch, which is that's just stomach volume. That's not fat, which is fine. So now the goal over the next 13 weeks is to get to a 27-inch waist. I'll be back in the 170s for sure, which is fine. I like 170 at my frame. 170s at my frame, I should say. But getting to the low 170s and 160s, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Like I mentioned when I was showing you guys my physique again. The V taper, the waist is very important, but you have to have something up top. And I was watching a video about Frank Zane, and he talks about like finding the perfect balance between being too light, because he said sometimes he came in a little bit too light, and sometimes he came in a bit too heavy. So obviously I know better than to get too heavy. Like I got 250 before, and I knew I was just getting fat as fuck. That's not gonna work. But the opposite isn't good either. You don't want to be too light to where I could possibly get a 27-inch. Like for sure, if I get down to 170, I'll have a 27-inch waist. But it's like if I give up the muscle mass up top, and I already say I'm not super dominant, chest dominant. I don't have the best chest, but I have really good shoulders. But if I give up what I have in my chest and my shoulders just to get a smaller waist, then I'm messing up my proportions. But if I really focus on keeping my nutrition solid, my sleep solid, there's certain things I do with my stomach vacuums. I don't do heavy squats, heavy deadlifts. Obviously, I don't do no oblique works. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about how you could get a tight waist. But if I really double down on what I know to get a tight waist, good digestion, good electrolyte balance and stuff like that, while slowly losing a little bit of fat over the next 13 weeks, super slowly, to where my sleep is intact, my cortisol is where it needs to be, my testosterone is where it needs to be, my gym performance is where it needs to be, and everything is aligned. I know when things weren't aligned, I was able to get a 27-inch waist in the mid 170s, and I was about 9%. I was about like 9-10% body fat for sure. But I was like, if I could get to a 27-inch waist, I know for sure I'll be single-digit body fat. With a 27-inch waist at 6'2", you're not 12-13% body fat. Not with my bone structure. So that's the goal. 27-inch waist, nice and slow. And as you guys have seen, because I've documented this, it's taking me a while to really find the best path for me, because I see over and over again people struggling to really get lean and stay lean. So I'm navigating through the mistakes I've made, and I'm also foreseeing not making certain mistakes that I've seen other people make, like cutting calories too low, like doing too much cardio, like dropping the scale too low and looking like motherfucking Christian Bale off of a Machinist or Ariana Grande from Wicked. Like, I'm gonna drop a video about that this week too, because some of these leanest law bros are taking it way too far. So yeah, that's the video for today. I'm officially gonna call this a recomp, because yes, I am in a slight deficit maintenance-ish, but I'm not like cutting. Like, we're not cutting. This is not a cut phase. It's really not. We're recomping my body. We're being smart. We're being strategic, and we're bringing the best package, the best RandallBranch package within the next 13 weeks on June 21st. So that's the goal. And yeah, recomp phase. If you guys need help with your fitness journey, check the description. I give out custom nutrition plans, custom training programs, and also I do one-on-one coaching. I know a lot of people I work with, they don't really care about getting below single-digit body fat. They're just looking to go from out of shape to in shape. And as you can see, I've mastered that. Once I master being single-digit body fat, I'll be able to say I've mastered that as well. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm doing this, is because I want to say I can master being lean, I can master being shredded. And I know for sure the scale will be like playing with you, chasing scale. We don't do that. I know better than to chase a low scale number, but even sometimes, like I mentioned before,
Sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I like seeing the scale go down. It does feel good to see the scale go down. But at the same time, I know better, especially at my leanest. Waist is my best measurement. When I get my waist to 27, my face will be as sharp as it needs to be for what I want. I don't need the sharpest face while I'm giving up muscle mass and frame to chase a sharp face. You also don't want to give up good face to chase being as big as possible. You get me? So there's a middle ground, and that's what I'm pursuing. The 27-inch waist is the North Pole, so that's what we'll be doing over the next 13 weeks. So again, this is the recomp phase. This is week 6. I'll be back next Sunday for week 7. And I'll be back tomorrow for another video for the channel. Check the description if you need help with your fitness journey, or if you want to speak to me about self-development in general. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.